good YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant play-in analysis on Analysis Playground on YouTube, exclusively on air forever. Of course, we're gonna talk about the Charlotte Hornets ended up winning in overtime over the Miami Heat, 127 to 126. LaMelo turned the ball over late and fouled Tyler Hero to help them almost lose the game. Then he came through for himself and his teammates and the organization and the fans with a drive to a basket that helped them win the game. I did question Tyler Hero's shot selection before the game was over in the fourth quarter. He dribbled, did all that, bounced, and took his time to shoot a three that wasn't really needed for them to be able to win since they just needed a basket, and he takes a tough three. I didn't understand that, but it is what it is. They got to live with it, and they still had a chance to win, and they still was up. So at the end of the day, it just wasn't meant for them to win this one. Other than that, Charlotte won the first quarter 26 to 24. They ended up losing the second quarter 30 to 26. They won the third quarter 37 to 29, and then they found themselves in a tough situation in the fourth, but it's because they let Miami win that one 31 to 25, and then they won overtime 13 to 12 to win by 1 point. Andrew Wiggins was really good. He stepped up in big moments. They knew that he was important to the team. They knew what he can bring to the table. I liked his defense in this one too. He played 42 minutes. He had 27 points. He was really going strong to the basket. Sometimes he was hitting the three. He was just bringing everything to the table, and you like him as a competitor, especially in this one. Unfortunately, he did make some big shots and things like that, but they just came up a little short. 10 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. He did have 7 rebounds. He also had 3 assists and no turnovers, 2 offensive boards, 2 personal fouls, and was a -6. And plus minus. Bam went down and got injured in this one. Since it's the end of their season, he just got to heal up and try to come back as good as he can next year. Or you never know what happens in the offseason with them, but they love Bam in Miami. He had a good season, but, it's over now. He had 6 points. He went 3 of 3 from the field. He got off to a really good start. He also had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. No personal fouls, and a +1 and plus minus is important to what they do on both ends of the court. It sucks that he couldn't play a lot in this one, but it is what it is. Khalil Ware, he also started 42 minutes for him, 12 points. He went 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. Took good looks. He just wasn't knocking them down in this one, even if they was open. But he still had 19 boards. That's really good to have a guy that can still do that, especially because they went a little small sometimes too. But he was able to also get 5 blocks, and some of them was really, really good effort. He was doing whatever he could to man and hold down the painted area for him, and the numbers resemble that. 4 assists too. He was finding his teammates when he could. And he also had 6 offensive rebounds. Even with the 6 offensive rebounds, he still had 13 of them. That was defensive. He was a monster in the paint. 1 personal foul and was a -5 and plus minus. Davion Mitchell, 48 minutes. He had 28 points. He went 12 of 24 from the field. You usually don't see him take that many shots, but he had to in this one. And he went 4 of 9 from 3. If you leave him open, he can splash them in. He had less assists than you thought, but it was because he had to score a lot more. And you can't really be mad at it. You only lost by 1, so you had a chance to win it. 4 rebounds, no turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. Just solid defense from him tonight. He didn't get in much foul trouble either, even though he was aggressive defensively. He did have 2 personal fouls and 1 offensive board and was a -6 in plus minus. Tyler Hero, 34 minutes. He had 23 points. He went 7 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He was there for them as a bucket. You knew he can score. You know he can pass. You know he can get to the paint, the floater, the mid-range, the 3. But like I said, I didn't really like the last shot he took in the fourth quarter. I feel like he could have got a better one or found somebody for a better one. He was doing it a lot throughout the game, and I just feel like he settled on that one. He did have 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul, and was a -2. And plus minus, Fontecchio played 6 minutes. He missed his only shot, which was a 3. He had a rebound, no turnovers, and a block. No personal fouls, and was a +3 and plus minus. Jaime Jaquez Jr. stepped up for them a little bit. Played 41 minutes. That was by far the most off the bench. 13 points. He went 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. and 1 or 2 from the free throw line. Just happy that he was able to score and run the offense a little bit through him too. He's capable of doing it, and he stepped up and gave him 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 turnover, and a block. Those are big numbers from a guy that you expect to perform well, and he did for the most part in this one. 1 offensive board, 2 personal fouls was a +4 and plus minus. And then Norman Powell, he ended up playing 19 minutes. He gave you 11 double figures. Is a good amount in 19 minutes. He did go 5 of 9 from the field. He had his 3-point shot going to mid range of drives. Went 1 or 2 from three, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul. Was a guy that finished with 1 offensive rebound out of 2 and was a +11 and plus minus. And then Pelly Larson, he played 22 minutes. He had 6 points. He went 2 of 4 from the field, but he did miss his only 3 and also went 2 or 3 from the free throw line. And then he had, a bad turnover too in this one, but he did have 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and a steal, 1 offensive rebound, no personal fouls, and was a -5 and plus minus. And then you look at the Charlotte Hornets, they stepped up. They was at home. People favored them to be able to win this one. They've been the better team the last couple months, and they had a tough one. They was down a good amount in the fourth quarter with like 2 minutes left, and they was able to stay composed enough to be able to get themselves back in the game, get it tied up, and was able to win it in overtime. It's tough to do that against a team like the Heat that's well coached and have a lot of veterans that have experience in the play-in and in the playoffs, but they figured out how to get it done. Miles Bridges, 43 minutes, 28 points, 10 of 18 from the field, 5 of 10 from three. He had a nice layup, some good finishes, some nice wide open threes that he was able to get. He also was able to finish at the free throw line with shooting 3 of 3. He had 9 boards, 2 assists, no turnovers, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 2 personal fouls, and was a -7 and plus minus. Good defense from him from time to time in this one as well. But when you look at Miles Bridges, these are the games that you're going to need from him in the future too. Just games where he's just doing inside out playmaking, rebounding, and playing hard, for a good amount of time while he's out on the court, if not all of it. Of course, you wish you can say that, but you know how players can be, how situations could be, and you get a little fatigued too, depending on how intense the game is and how long you played and what it requires from you. But Musa, 36 minutes, 8 points. He went 4 or 5 from the field. Good finishing around the rim, stayed playing hard. 8 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive rebounds. He had 14 total. That's really, really good. He was trying to match the energy of the bigs from the Heat, which is important. 1 assist, no turnovers, and a block. 1 personal foul was a -17 and plus minus. Brandon Miller hit a tough 3 in overtime. That was much needed. He hit it throughout the game. He went 5 of 10 from 3. He finished 9 of 17 from the field, which is efficient, and he gave them 20 plus. That's what he needed to do. He knew he was going to be a big part of what they was trying to accomplish, and he stepped up in big moments throughout the entire game. He also had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 blocks. 2 offensive rebounds, 4 personal fouls, and a +5 and plus minus. LaMelo Ball played 40 minutes. He had 30 and 10 assists. He made some real, real big plays in this game to keep them alive, whether he was scoring or passing. And then, of course, he hit the biggest one. But he had some bad problems, too, with the fouling, with the turnover, and, of course, going 2 of 16 from 3. You can tell the crowd stayed behind him. They still wanted him to play well, and they was going to ride or die with him. But he also went 12 of 31 from the field. He did go 4 of 4 from the free throw line. They really let him have his way in this game, and they took the good, the bad, and the ugly with it. And young players can be that way, especially in a game that's intense. He was in a game like this before, but it's good to see him get the win in this one. 3 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block. He did also have 5 personal fouls, and he had some bad ones that could have cost them the game, but it wasn't meant for them to lose this one, honestly. And a +15 and plus minus what he ended with. And then Con Knipple was no better. He he had 6 points. He went 2 of 12 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, no turnovers, 1 offensive rebound, 4 personal fouls, and he was a +20 and plus minus. Grant Williams was chucking up shots, but he finished 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. He had 5 points, and he also had 2 boards, no turnovers, 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls, and was a -2 and plus minus. Ryan came in and hit the glass 4 offensive rebounds. He had one that was defensive, so he finished with 5. He had 1 assist, no turnovers, no personal fouls, and he did finish well around the rim, going 3 or 4 from the field and had 6 points. And then you look at Kobe White. He had 26 minutes. That was the most off the bench. He kept them in. He hit big shots to help them win. Even before the game was over, you thought that they might fold. But he just came out and just played his role real well. He wasn't scared of the moment. He wasn't scared of the opportunity. And for him to be one of their newer players and to be that critical to their success already, even during the regular season, it makes it sense that they made the move now, looking back at it. 19.7 to 15 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3. He was making the tough ones too. And he also had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals. The 2 steals was the most on the team. He also had 1 personal foul, was a plus 21 and plus minus. Josh Green played 5 minutes. He missed his only field goal. He had 1 rebound. He had no turnovers. His rebound was offensive. He had 2 personal fouls and was a 0 and plus minus. Zion James, he ended up playing 13 minutes. He had 2 points, got blocked real bad, but he ended up missing his only shot was a 3. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers, no personal fouls, and a minus 2 and plus minus comparisons. 113 field goals by the Hornets. They shot 44%. 103 for the Heat. They shot 48%. 56 threes by the Hornets. They shot 32%, while the Heat only shot 41, which is 15 less. But they made it at 39%. They gave them a good chance to win because they also took more free throws, which was 14 compared to the 9 of the Hornets. But the Hornets made every single one of theirs, while the Heat only made 86% of theirs. The Hornets beat them on the glass, 54 to 48. 26 assists for the Hornets, 32 for the Heat. 6 turnovers for the Hornets, 7 for the Heat. Both teams had 4 steals, 7 blocks for the Hornets, 8 for the Heat. 17 offensive rebounds for the Hornets, 12 for the Heat. 37 defensive rebounds for the Hornets, 36 for the Heat. And then 21 personal fouls by the Hornets. And the Heat only had 9, which is hilarious. You don't see that happen that often. But I will like to say both teams put on the show. Some hiccups here and there, some bad possessions. Obviously, the moment is big. The opportunity to try to still be able to make the playoffs, people forget. Although they beat the Heat, they have to win a game against the Magic or the Sixers to be able to take their spot. And they have to do it twice, I believe. So they got a long way to still go to make the playoffs. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that they lost the last couple games in the season, and that pushed them down to 9th. And now they have to play great and amazing again without the home court advantage on top of that. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, just like it was beating Miami. But you still got to be proud of the Hornets. You know, they put themselves in tough situations, but they found out and figured out how to get it out and get out with the win. So that's tough, man. It was watching this game show you how good this team can be if they can stay healthy and if they can add, a couple more pieces to, give them a better chance of making the playoffs and being a team that can compete for a title. But for them to be so young and for them, to be still learning their game and learning how to play together, it was fun watching them compete. And the Heat, they stepped up too. They had a good lead. They had a good chance of closing it out. They still had a chance to win it. Like I said, Tyler Hero, I didn't like the shot that he took, especially with all the time he had left on the clock. But it is what it is. People thought the Hornets were going to win. People thought it was over for them. And now they just got to put it all back together, take some rest, take a deep breath, and get ready for another play-in game to try to get a playoff spot, something they haven't really done in the LaMelo era, which is play in the playoffs. And this will be a good opportunity for them to have a chance to do it. Philly is a little beat up. You don't really know how they're going to be. In Orlando, I feel like they're on the same scale talent-wise. So it will be an interesting battle against either one of them teams, but the Hornets are just as good. It just show you that if the NBA was more healthier this year, especially in the last 2 to 3 months, these teams will be a lot better, and some teams probably will have lost a lot more. But it's just showing you how much talent the league has right now, and they're in a good position. The fans are loving the modern era. It's a lot of players that's starting to develop and produce real young now, and then you have more coming in an amazing draft this year, and then you have free agency, you have the overseas, you have all these other talented players coming into the league. So Charlotte, they got to continue to put in the work. They got to continue to fix up this roster a little bit more if they want to be taken more serious as a team that can win it all. But they know it, they get it, and this is just a process and something that they have to go through to get whatever they need to get out of the game to be ready to be better next year and also in general. So other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to get the analysis when it first come out. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. And I'll see y'all later today. And for the Heat fans, I don't really know what to tell y'all. Y'all got a lot of guys that's good. Y'all got all-star caliber players, Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Y'all have good young supporting cast with Jaime and obviously Khalil Ware. Y'all have Davion Mitchell. Y'all got a mixture of everything right now. And for some reason, y'all keep finding yourselves in the play-in. Y'all lost Jimmy Butler, and y'all still found the way to have a decent season because y'all was above 500 by the end of it. But at the end of the day, what are y'all going to do to possibly try to get back to that championship picture to win the championship without Dwayne Wade and LeBron James in the picture? Of course, it's going to be interesting to see what Pat Riley does with this team and his roster to try to get them closer to the goal of being back as a team that can win it all. But they're farther than what you think of being that. And I feel like the East, people make fun of it the last couple of years. Not so much this year. I do think the East, if healthy, will be even tougher next year with all the additions possibly coming and all the teams that have made moves and still going to make moves in the offseason to try to be a team that can be a play-in, play-off, or a championship team. So the top is still heavy in the East, and now talent is sprinkling down the rest of the East too, and it's going to make it tougher to make it. So the Heat got to do something. They can't just run it back and think that they're going to be good again because they was good this year, but by a little bit. And injuries, every team going to deal with it and go through it. But at the same time, you still got to figure out how to win games. Spo, definitely the coach for him, but he needs some better talent, to be able to get it done, when it comes to championship-wise. Other than that, peace.